And wow, the difference in the shot. We saw a little pickup in club head speed, a huge pickup in ball speed, the ball launched lower, and the carry was hugely different. I mean, like well over 30 yards further. So as I would always do with any golfer, initially I said, just set up, hit me what you feel your stock 7-iron would be. And to be fair, it was nice and accurate. And the numbers we can see on there for TrackMan were very, very much what we saw from this golfer. Good club head speed, ball speed not fantastic, launching okay, strike not great, and definitely carry way back. So the first thing we spoke about is, did he understand the difference between address and impact? So I asked him just to show me both. And at address, he was pretty good. And he said, so at impact, I would want to be more this way. And it's a common mistake. Most golfers, I think, try to get back to address position, whereas none of the best players in the world get that. So what we said for him is that because he was getting back into this position, as the shaft was pretty much straight up, maybe a tiny bit forward, he was adding lots of loft to the golf club, actually not controlling where the low point was, so sometimes bottoming out, sometimes thinning it, but even when he struck it, kind of popping the ball up in the air and it not really going anywhere. So instantly he made the comment that he didn't see his swing a lot on video, but he noticed that a lot of golfers spoke about the shaft leaning forward. So I said, okay, show me then what you think shaft leaning forward would look like. So he literally did that. And I didn't pay any attention to the club face, just paid attention to shaft lean. And instantly there, we noticed how the club face looks to the right. Anyway, I said, hit me a shot and do that. Now, instantly the strike was better. And we saw the low point move ahead as we're seeing on TrackMan there. But the club face nearly 9 degrees open. And even though that went a lot further, his instant comment was, I can't play golf doing that. So then instantly I've got to try and square the club face up. And the way he tried to square the club face up was his old movement, adding loft, kind of not really transferring enough energy from club to ball. So we had to make a change. But it was making him understand that yes, we want to get shaft lean, but as the shaft leans forward, we need to be able to control that club face better. But how are we going to get him, first of all, to feel it, second of all, to do it? As ever as a coach, always got lots of things lying around to maybe help highlight something. So we got him to hold the tennis racket. And obviously, where the racket face is pointing is club face. And I said, I want you to make your backswing and start your downswing. And as he started his downswing, you could see he kind of pulled the club down and the racket face would be looking more over towards the camera. So I said, if now you continue, you can see where that club face is going to point. He went, but I don't do that. He says, so from here, that was where he would be at impact. So he said, right, we need to change how this works in the start of the downswing. So we went back as he would, and I said, I now want you to feel like you're going to get that racket face to point more towards the wall. That way. And he went, that feels like I'm getting the back of the hand also going towards the wall. I said, okay, so do that, and now come down into your impact position. And we could see there a hugely different position. Now, obviously when there's no golf ball there and no golf club in your hand, sometimes it's much easier to get that sensation. So if we look down the line, that's where he would have been. That's where he then spoke about. Completely different position. So we made a few practice swings with the same thing, got to the top, and kind of got the feeling that the club face, instead of looking over in front, was going to look behind us more often. And took a lot of speed out, to be fair, to begin with, trying to feel that. And his initial thing was, feels like I'm going to miss a long way left. I said, well, obviously if you do that with your old movement, yeah, you might hit your shin. So I said, we're going to hit a few shots, and I don't care how far these go, take some speed out, get that feel that you get the movement. And there's a little challenge on TrackMan. We kind of said, once try and get your launch angle with 7-iron down under 17 degrees. Kind of, I showed about 19 to 20. He was even a couple up at 22, 23. So we said, right, we're going to set up, take some speed out, try and keep that movement, keep the loft off the club. And the first one, like that, came out very, very flat. Speed was actually great because we were generating speed at the right time. Launched very low at 12.9. Low point moved way ahead of the golf ball. And the club face was in a much stronger position. And even taking speed out, we saw a pickup in distance straight away. So, for the purpose of the video, I'm not going to hit 6 or 7 shots. But we hit kind of half a dozen of those, just telling him, did he feel like he made the movement? Get that club looking that way, that wrist that way, and could he keep the launch angle down? And once we did that, we said, now allow yourself to put a little bit more speed back in. And wow, the difference in the shot. We saw a little pickup in club head speed, a huge pickup in ball speed. The ball launched lower, and the carry was hugely different. I mean, like well over 30 yards further. So, once he hit that one, he was very, very excited. Now, when you're working through the video with me, don't do what he did. So there then became a little bit of complacency. So because he'd seen the distance, he tried to hit one hard, kind of made the old movement, got a little bit of shaft lean, got lots of speed in there, but left the club face much more open, loft on it. And even though the ball went further than it had been, we kind of dropped off a little bit. So we said, right, focus on performance. Result will take care of itself. If you perform well, and this is something every golfer needs to get their head around. People say the ball doesn't lie. That's fine, but the ball doesn't do anything without a performance of the golf swing. So we said, rehearse that feeling. Try to get that club face looking behind us, and then we can swing through. Feel like you keep the loft off the club. And even the ones that weren't perfect, we saw lots of speed, lots of ball speed, a much more powerful launch angle, low point ahead, creating ball and then ground contact, and a much longer carry. Now, undoubtedly, he's going to maybe not always be that exaggerated. And I always say, when you work on a new feeling, try to exaggerate the feeling as much as you can. Because if you don't exaggerate it, you can't dial back. Now, if you're underdoing it all the time, you'll never get where you want. So it was back as normal. Feel like we're going to get that club face looking behind us. Then we can move into that downswing. And you can see the difference. Like we saw with the tennis racket, the club's de-lofted, but we've created a twist of the handle of the club, giving us more control on that face. And then you can stand up there, put great swings on it, see more distance, have more control. We didn't quite see that distance with him, but nobody can pass up an extra 2 or 3 club lengths into the green, give you more control and help get those scores down.